Yo, what is going up? How's everybody doing today? Thank y'all for tuning into another Daily Fitness live stream show. Here we go, man. Today's Thursday. We're getting closer to the end of the week, so hopefully everybody's getting ready to wind down to the end of the week. And I left my shirt over there on the bed, so we're going to fix that here in a minute. But for right now, thank y'all for tuning in, man. We're going to be getting through with this show today. We got a good show lined up ahead of you today. We are simultaneously streaming on 4 different channels or 4 different platforms. We're on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble for sure. And if you're having a rough week and going through a hard time through this week, let Mr. Child tell you the best thing to do.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
So as long as you didn't become unalive, you are A-okay. Don't worry. And if you are watching on YouTube, do me a favor. When you see that thumbs up come up, do me a favor and hit that like button that you see right there. It'd be greatly appreciated. Get the algorithm out because that will really help to get this show to spread to more people. And for sure, if you want to contribute to today's show, there's a Cash App and Venmo right there. Daniel2888 for the Cash App and then Danny-Daniel-00 for the Venmo. Today, we got a good show lined up for you. Today, we will be going over our topics of fitness, economy, and AI. And for the fitness portion of the show, if you didn't see on the thumbnail, we're going to sit there and talk about lab-grown meat and food that they're going to be basically be growing in the lab. And we're going to see exactly what that is going to do to the human health. And I don't think it's going to be good. So, yeah, it's not going to look too shabby. So kind of get ready for that, because if they're making lab-grown meat and they've already been putting GMO and pesticides in our food, just imagine what lab-grown meat gonna have in it. So yeah, what's good for thee is not good for thee. So we're gonna see how that looks right there. I'm gonna soundboard up. Then we're gonna go over to the economy portion of the show, and clearly, as you can see, there is a huge wealth gap that's been going on. It is wider than ever. But one thing to pay attention to is that we see that you have the working class going through a hard time trying to deal with, work in general, massive layoffs, and just people struggling, and every time you turn around, prices are going up, groceries going up, rent and all this stuff is happening, and losing jobs and all these things going on. However, on the complete opposite spectrum, which is the wealthy or the rich, they are living a totally different life. They have a whole different way of seeing things, and we're going to look at how they are looking at things in this economy versus how the working class is. I mean, because I always go over the working class. I'm always talking about the working class and the job layoffs and car repos and HOA fees and all that stuff. But then we're going to go look and see how life is like for the rich and the wealthy and see how they think in a down economy. And it's probably what you think, or it might not be what you think. But we're going to check out the way they live in. And the way they live in is pretty dang good right now. And it's down and out time right now. But then we are going to go over to the AI segment of the show. And the AI segment of the show, we are going to tap in and look at, they have finally completed. Let me tell you, they finally completed. It has happened that a robot has done surgery on a dead pig without the assistance of a human. Think about this. Now, they've been working on this for quite some time, but what we're seeing now is that they actually took a dead pig and allowed the robot to perform a gallbladder surgery without any assistance, and the AI was able to find and locate the organs itself without the help of a human. So yeah, when you say AI is taking everybody's jobs, yes, everybody for sure. So yeah, we're going to look into that, and we're going to check on a few other things on the AI portion of the show. But with that being said, those are going to be the main highlights of today's topic. So let's go ahead and dive right into today's show, because we need to go ahead and get this ball on the road, because what else is there to do except get this show going? And before I do that, let me move this over here out the way, because I got stuff blocking and I can't see what's going on. Now we're good. All right, cool. So now that we got that going, we're going to go ahead and get to the fitness portion of the show. So let's go ahead and get our sexy redhead Latina up in here to get the intro. Oops, that was the wrong one. To get the intro started. Cue it.
Let's get ready for the fitness segment of the show.
All right, there we go. She came in and made her statement and disappeared. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good woman. Let me tell you, that's a good woman. Made her peace and left. Just disappeared on us. Thank you. We really appreciate her on that. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the first video of today's show. So the first one we're going to start out with is, let me refresh the video first, but it's going to be lab-grown meat. And we're going to see how and where lab-grown meat is and how it is made. So that's going to be interesting to see how lab-grown meat is made. And we're also going to look at the effects of it that it's going to have on the human body. So we're going to have to dive into that as well, because it's one thing to have lab-grown meat, but it's another thing to think about what are the harmful effects that it's going to have on the human body. Because last time I checked, whenever somebody has control over your food, they don't have your best interest at heart as far as what the food does to basically provide nutrients for your body. So we're going to look into that. So let me go ahead and put this banner up on the screen. We're going to dive right on in over here to the video and change the banners real quick. Bam, 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 bam. We got that done. So fair use. Shout out to NBC News. And we're going to go ahead and run this video and see exactly how lab-grown meat is made. Let's see how this goes. Take it away.
From the poor treatment of animals to uneven food distribution and even climate change, lab-grown food is being hailed by some as a solution for many of today's biggest issues. Our global agricultural system is responsible for over a quarter of all greenhouse gas emissions. Among the worst offenders are beef, dark chocolate, coffee and fish, based on emissions per kilogram. There has been a lot of hype around cell-cultivated food, but how viable is the industry? What does it entail? And more importantly, will consumers bite?
Can you do the honours and lift the lid on your creation?
Over a decade ago on The Edge, we reported on the world's first ever cultured beef burger. Unveiled by Professor Mark Post from Maastricht University, it cost around €250,000 to produce. He went on to set up Mosa Meat, a company which aims to bring the burger to the masses, and he's not alone. There are now hundreds of startups developing their own lab-grown products, but just how do they do it? It's a relatively simple procedure and similar.
All right, so remember that word, okay? You need to remember, let me get this mic fixed. You need to remember this word right here. The word is cultured, all right? Cultured. When you see cultured meat, that means that it's lab grown. So pay attention to that. If you see cultured meat, just know it's not organic, it is lab grown. So be on the lookout for that in the future when you see it. So here we go.
For both meat and plant-based production. For meat, simply take stem cells from animals' tissue, add a nutrient-rich solution and watch the cells multiply into the three main components of meat: muscle, fat and connective tissue. Then put the cells into bioreactors, or as they're more commonly known, cultivators. These cells are then separated and rearranged to build a final edible product. This part of the process is called scaffolding and can be very complicated. A steak, for instance, needs a lot more scaffolding than ground meat in a burger. The entire process takes between 2 and 8 weeks, but the payoff can be huge. It's estimated that just 1,000th of a pound of cow cells can create up to 4.4 billion pounds of beef. That sounds like an impressive return, so what's the holdup? Well, cost is a big issue. Currently, lab-grown meat is around 40% more expensive than animal meat. And then there's health and safety concerns. All production must happen in a completely sterile environment because the cells have no natural immunity from diseases.
Okay, so what we have here, let's see, this video was made 8 months ago. So far, there's the big issue that we see right there, is that it costs too much. It costs more than animal meat. So there's a huge cost that's gonna hinder profits. So if it's hindering profits, that's gonna be a red flag and it's gonna slow things down. So that's one thing. I just don't see how they're gonna pull this off just yet, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna figure out a way how to make it happen. But so far we have a positive as far as the meat goes, and it's too expensive to put out there. So they have to get past the profit part in order to turn a profit to get this meat out to us. So let's see if they find a solution to that. But yeah, so far, not looking too good, but let's continue.
And while traditional meat is nutritionally dense, most of its proteins, vitamins and minerals are introduced via animal feed. You have to add these nutrients into cultured meat, and it's still unclear whether today's additives provide equal nutritional value in the long term. As a result, regulators can't seem to align on the technology. Singapore became the first country in the world to approve cultured meat for human consumption in 2020. The US followed suit 3 years later, and the UK's Food Standards Agency approved use for pet food in early 2024. Italy, meanwhile, has banned the production, sale and import of lab-grown meat entirely, with the government citing its potential negative impact on the country's farming industry. France and Romania might do the same. The EU so far has not offered any guidance, but if it does greenlight use, it could put Brussels on a collision course with angry farmers. Some critics are calling for more research into the environmental impacts of cultured food, especially if production is ramped up significantly. After all, the manufacturing process still requires an energy source, but those championing the industry believe the benefits outweigh the negatives. They say cultured food has the potential to dramatically reduce food waste, tantalize our taste buds with things we've never traditionally eaten, and could provide health benefits by tailoring food to nutritional needs such as removing gluten or saturated fats without compromising on the taste. According to consulting firm McKinsey, cultivated meat could make up as much as 0.5% of the world's meat supply by 2030, making it a $25 billion global industry.
Okay, so $25 billion global industry, which is pretty good. I was looking down, I was trying to find a short that I had on my phone, and it was somebody who went over some of the harmful effects that this meat has, but I can't seem to find the freaking short. As a matter of fact, let me see. I might be able to have it in here if you give me a couple seconds. I'm going to look up what exactly. Okay, here we go. I found it. Perfect. Perfect timing. Just found it. So let me go ahead and pull this up. So we see that so far they're having some pushback with it. And they're not having too much. Well, they're not having very much success so far. But I mean, give it time. It's a $25 billion industry. That means that there's a guaranteed consecutive profits to be made. So it's gonna happen. But let me see. Let's see. Lab meat, dark. All right. So let's see exactly what the issue is when we get lab meats. And where is it at? I gotta find the person who made this video so we can see what the dark secret about it is, but I gotta find it. Where is it? What is it called again? Lab meats, dark secret. Let me look for it real quick. Let me find it. Okay, there he is. Found Buddy right there. Okay, so let's see. Where are you at? Where are you at? Because I gotta find this one. I should have found it earlier, but I'm gonna do it live. Oops, wrong one. All right, so I think this is going to be it right here. All right, and he made a short for it, but I just want the short. I don't want the whole freaking video. How old is this video? So okay, so your short might be right here. There we go. Found it. All right, cool. So he's got a video for a short for Lab Meats Dark Secret, so we're going to take a look at it real quick. So here we go. Listen to what he's going to say about the lab meats, and let's see if this kind of ties in with what we just heard, because they did mention something about this in the video, and let's see if this ties in. Here we go.
Lab-grown meat is supposed to be the miracle we've been waiting for. The cells used to make lab-grown meat, they aren't just any cells. They're not normal in the way you might imagine. They're what scientists call immortalized cell lines. Cells that have been altered so they can divide forever. And here's the reality, folks. That ability for a cell to divide endlessly is the defining characteristic of cancer. That's right, lab-grown meat is literally grown from cells with the same biological properties as cancer cells. Let's just be honest. They are trying to give you cancer. Oh, and it gets worse. Lab-grown meat is supposed to be the miracle we've been waiting for. The cells used to make lab-grown meat, they aren't just any cells. They're not normal in the way you might imagine. They're what scientists call immortalized cell lines. Cells that have been altered so they can divide forever. And here's the reality, folks. That ability for a cell to divide endlessly is the defining characteristic of cancer. That's right, lab.
Okay, cool. So we got that there, and let's kind of dive in and see if what he's saying is true. Because I mean, I just can't take somebody's word and like look at it as a gospel. So what I did was I did some research right here, and I found this right here on this screen. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at it real quick. So let me go ahead and pull this back, pull this up over here, so we can see exactly if what he's saying is somewhat true. So I got this pulled up, and yeah, here we go. So let's go ahead and pull this up and look at it. So what we have here is a just basically simple Google asks about. I just typed in what immortalized cells. So we have this. An immortalized cell is a population of cells that have been genetically modified to replicate indefinitely in culture. Excuse me. Overcoming the natural limitations of cell division. These cells are often derived from tumors or have had their telomeres or tumor suppressor genes altered to enable continuous growth. They are valuable research tools due to their consistent growth and reproductibility. Okay, so tumor is a cancerous cell. So these cells are often derived from tumors or have had their telomeres or tumor suppressor genes altered to enable continuous growth. So you can alter them to enable continuous growth. So what he's saying is they're able to take this lab meat and put in this immortalized cell line into the meat, which could be tumorous, and it could be basically altered to be able to create continuous growth, which then could result to tumors and things of that nature. So, I mean, what he says does kind of check out, and we could take it a step further and go to the good old Wikipedia and see if we can find it here. So there are several examples of immortalized cells, each with a different properties. Immortalized cell lines are classified by the cell type they originated from. So we have all these crazy names right here, but what else should we look at right here? Many cell lines are widely used, and they have been contaminated and overgrown by others, more aggressive cells. For example, supposed thyroid lines are actually melanoma cells. Supposedly prostate tissues was actually bladder cancer, and supposed normal cultures were actually breast cancer. So they can basically take out, potentially, I guess they can take out certain kind of cell lines and put them, or take immortalized cell lines and put them into the lab grown meat. Is basically what it's saying, because you basically can. While immortalized cell lines often originate from a well-known tissue type, they have undergone significant mutations to become immortal. This can alter their biology of cell and must be taken into consideration in any analysis. Further, cell lines can change genetically over multiple passages, leading to a phenotypic differences among isolates and potentially different experimental results depending on when and with what strain isolate an experiment is conducted. So you can actually pick and choose which kind of immortalized cell line that you want to use, and you know, who's to say who has your best interest at heart? So when using these lab grown meats, if they're putting immortalized cell lines in the meat, then it's up to them on which one they choose to put in there. And you know, if somebody's putting stuff in your food, I mean, if we already complained that McDonald's never spoils, then if they're up in the ante to take it another step further, what do you think? You know, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know these things for facts. I'm just doing a little research and looking up what I found right here. And so far, that's what I'm seeing. So it is what it is. That is what we have right there for the lab grown meat. Now we're going to check out another video. But the only thing I would say to be able to bypass these type of things is, like I said last night, if you watched my stream last night, I'm not going to even lie, your boy was hella tired last night. I was like in and out of sleep in the middle of the stream. I don't think I'm going to do any more evening streams like that ever again, because I was super tired. But I said I was going to do it, and I did it. I made it through. I couldn't talk in my normal tone of voice because my son was asleep. So it was kind of tough to do because I couldn't be as animated. It had to be more monotone and quiet. And that in turn kind of added to like the sleep thing. I was like halfway like this. I was like So I had to, you know, keep myself awake halfway. I won't probably do no more evening streams like that again. I'll just get it all one and done in one sitting, unless something like sporadic pops up or whatever. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to look at one more video for this, and we're going to check out exactly what the 10 biggest food trends are for 2025. So you got lab-grown meat and sustainable eating. So not only are they doing lab-grown meat, we have to find out what sustainable eating is. And if you have to alter the meaning of something as simple as what you eat, usually it's not going to be good for you. So, you know, somebody has to come up with a name. This is called sustainable eating. In other words, like, I'm trying to eliminate you without telling you I'm trying to eliminate you. At least that's my personal opinion, because you wouldn't alter something and try to make somebody believe it. Because if that's the case, if you're trying to tell somebody something, make them believe something, you're trying to indoctrinate them. And when you try to indoctrinate people, you usually don't have their best interests at heart. So we're going to go ahead and check out this video. Let's go ahead and run this video right here and see what this video is about. It's by Medilab Zones, fair use. Let's go ahead and run this video.
The 10 biggest food trends for 2025. Welcome to the future of food. 2025 is bringing a wave of innovative, sustainable, and health-conscious food trends that will transform the way we eat. Sustainable and...
All right, so real quick. They say these are health-conscious food trends. If this is food, why the hell you got on a whole body hazmat suit for the food? That's my thing. If this is food, my question is why you got on a whole body hazmat suit for the food? Because last time I checked, you got farmers, right? When farmers are out in nature and they're, you know, farming on the field, and it doesn't matter who the farmer is, I've never seen a farmer outside of nature plowing the field, or, you know, picking weeds, or, you know, harvesting the crops or whatever. I ain't ever seen them dress up like this for conscious food or for healthy foods. That, right, to me, that's red flag number one. I'm just calling a spade a spade. You know what I mean? If it's food and you got to dress like this to handle the food, like, I mean, like, you can't look at me and try to be like, hey, this is the better food choice. I'm simply gonna look at you and just be like, yo,
what are you talking about?
Like, come on now. You think I'm stupid? Do you think I'm stupid?
Shut up, bitch.
Like, come on now. Like, come on, son. Like, let's be real. This can't be the healthy choice, but I digress. Let's see what they have to say. Let me give them a chance before I start.
Health-conscious food trends that will transform the way we eat. From lab-grown delicacies to high-tech kitchen innovations, here's what's on the menu this year. Number 1, AI-powered personalized nutrition. Imagine your meals being tailored precisely to your body's needs. AI-driven food technology is revolutionizing the way we eat, analyzing everything from your DNA to your daily activity levels to create the perfect diet plan. Expect more AI-based meal planning apps and smart kitchen devices that help you optimize your nutrition. Number 2, the rise of lab-grown meat and seafood.
Who is we? I'm trying to figure out who is we. It helps the way we eat. I need to know who we is, because usually when we say we in this context, it's usually excluding a group and including another. That's just my whole thing. But yeah, just keep that in mind.
Lab-grown meat is no longer just a futuristic idea. It's hitting supermarket shelves in 2025. As sustainability concerns grow, cultured meat and seafood are becoming mainstream, offering the taste and texture of traditional proteins without the environmental impact.
Bruh, come on.
Shut up, bitch.
Come on. Like, really? Wait, I gotta find a right. Come on. Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Like, I really want to look at dude and just be like, shut up. It's kind of weird, all right? You're telling me that this food has whatever it has in it that's better without the environmental impact of nature. So basically you're saying that nature has a negative impact on the food. However, you're showing me lab grown meat or any lab grown food with everybody got on damn hazmat suits, gloves, and a mask. I mean, like, like, look, if I could sum this up in one word, and not one word, if I could sum this up in one phrase, it's like what you're trying to say to me. You're not saying it deliberately, but if I read between the lines, this is what you're trying to say to people who are listening to you but are not paying attention.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
That's basically what to me, that's what you're saying, because you're showing me lab grown meat and you're trying to tell me that outside meat is impacted by the environment. But meanwhile, this meat that you're growing and food that you're making is made in the lab, but people have to wear entire hazmat suits and gloves and masks. I'm just like, bruh, the only way, to be honest with you, let's talk about the solution. If it's a problem, like how you can read between the lines, the only way to overcome this problem, to be quite honest, is to get rich and wealthy and to be able to buy your own cattle and have land to grow your own food. That's the only way to get around it. So there's no point in complaining about it. I'm just pointing it out. But the solution to get away from it in time is to have your own land, grow your own food, and have your own cattle, butcher it and all that good stuff. That's the only way around all this. This is the only way. And then, drill a well for water and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that's the solution to bypass this. So no point complaining. You just got to level up. But let's continue.
Will you be trying a lab-grown steak this year? Number 3, sustainable and upcycled ingredients. Food waste is a huge issue, but companies are fighting back by using upcycled ingredients in everything from snack bars to beverages. Expect more brands to turn food scraps and surplus produce into delicious, nutritious products.
No.
He didn't say that. Tell me he didn't just say that.
Bruh, there ain't no way in hell. Bruh, there ain't no way in hell. They literally just said, bruh. Let you hear that one more time. Maybe I misheard. Maybe I'm overreacting. Let's try that again. Try it again. I'm overreacting. That's not what I heard. Let's try it one more time.
This year, number 3, sustainable and upcycled ingredients. Food waste is a huge issue, but companies are fighting back by using upcycled ingredients in everything from snack bars to beverages. Expect more brands to turn food scraps and surplus produce into delicious, nutritious products.
Okay, I heard it correctly. So what I was saying earlier is what they're saying to you, they're not saying to you, but if you read between the lines, it sounds like this. Oh, wait, I messed up. Sounds like this.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
So, don't believe your thoughts. Just don't believe what you think is true. Believe what we tell you. But again, the solution, get rich, get your own land, grow your own stuff, get your own cattle, butcher it yourself. And that's the best way to go about it. But if anybody tells you this, if anybody tells you what they're saying right now, your reaction should be, I'm just saying, because at the end of the day, like, imagine if you went to McDonald's and they was like, hey, the fries or the fries of the burger that we made, we took a couple of cheeses from yesterday and last week. We put them all together with some good cheese today, and then we slapped it on your double cheeseburger. And then the fries, we took some old fries we had from last week and we mixed them in with the new fries, and we kind of merged them together and gave you today, which is a good, delicious meal. It's like, what's the nutritious factor on that? How is that going to work out? Plus, it's already McDonald's, so like, you double down on the negativity of the nutrition that you're about to get.
Reducing waste and helping the planet. Number 4, functional foods for food scraps and surplus produce into delicious, nutritious products. Reducing waste and helping the planet. Number 4, functional food.
So they're doing that to reduce waste but help the planet, but at the same time, like putting your body through hell. Foods
for mental health. With stress and anxiety on the rise, 2025 is all about foods that nourish the mind. From adaptogenic mushrooms to gut-friendly probiotics, expect more snacks and drinks designed to enhance cognitive function, boost mood, and improve overall mental well-being. Number 5. The insect protein revolution, cricket flour, mealworm protein, and other insect-based foods are gaining popularity as eco-friendly, protein-packed alternatives to traditional meat. Whether in energy bars, pasta, or even gourmet dishes, insect protein is creeping into mainstream diets. Number 6. Smart.
Bruh, they just said insect protein is creeping into mainstream. Wait a minute. Let me just go ahead and just. And the way he's saying it, he makes the shit sound so good. Like, just sound fantastic. I mean, it sounds sustainable. It sounds earth friendly. It sounds nutritious. It sounds delicious. It sounds like the proper thing to do to sustain the future of the world with all of the using those trigger words to basically like bypass your intelligence at the end of the day. I mean, it's almost like the way it's like you want to respond to him. You kind of want to respond to him like, you must think I'm stupid, huh? Like, kind of like this.
Catching bullets with his teeth. Catches bullets with his teeth. Nigga, please.
That's the kind of reaction you should have when you hear this. Like, I mean, since when does somebody want bug protein in their food unless they do it themselves? But at the same time, if you don't grow your own food, then they can do this because, you know, you're taking what they're preparing for you as opposed to preparing the food for yourself. So I get it. And like I said, the solution will never change. You got to get rich. You got to get rich and wealthy, buy your own land, have your own cattle, and do it yourself. That's the only solution to all of this. There's no other way around it. There's no other solution to give you. Like, seriously. Like CGA said, boss up. Shout out to him. So that's the solution. Don't complain. Just hear it out. Know that this is what they're doing, and you can't get upset because they prepared your meal and you didn't prepare your own. So in that sense, it's fair game.
Kitchens and AI cooking assistants. Your kitchen is getting smarter. AI-powered cooking assistants and robotic chefs are making meal prep easier than ever. Smart ovens that recognize ingredients and suggest recipes, along with automated cooking gadgets, are changing the way we prepare meals at home. Number 7. Zero waste and regenerative farming. Regenerative agriculture is a game changer in 2025, promoting soil health, biodiversity, and carbon capture. Brands and farmers are embracing zero waste practices, ensuring that food production becomes more ethical and sustainable. Number 8. Space-age superfoods.
Okay, I'm kind of confused on that one right there. I'm not really sure how the food is supposed to be healthy from the soil. Unless they got Monsanto spraying the food, then at that case, you already know how that turns out in the end. You know, if Monsanto sprays your food, you might as well think to yourself, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if that happens, you know, your food gets sprayed, you're gonna be like, hey,
What the fuck?
is this right here? And then from there, then it goes into the lab, and then everybody got put on a hazmat foods because, and now that makes sense. Okay, now that makes sense. And then when it gets to the lab, they got to put on a hazmat suit and the gloves because it was already cured. Like, got it. Again, get rich, get your money right, get your own land, get your own cattle. I mean, there's no other option. There ain't no other choice. It's the only way to go.
More ethical and sustainable. Number 8. Space-age superfoods. NASA-inspired foods like algae-based protein, 3D printed meals, and lab-grown dairy are making their way into everyday diets. These futuristic foods not only support sustainability, but also pack a serious nutritional punch.
How is this a place where you get food? Look at this. This is the place where you get food? This is crazy. And that 3D printed food. 3D printed food. Like, come on. Like, hey, without saying it, what they saying is
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
that to me, that's it in a nutshell. There ain't no way around that. That is brutal.
Support sustainability, but also pack a serious nutritional punch. Number 9. Hyperlocal and vertical farming. Farm to table is evolving into hyperlocal food sourcing, with urban vertical farms bringing fresh produce directly to consumers. Whether in restaurants or grocery stores, expect to see more locally grown greens and herbs available year-round. Number 10. AI-generated flavors and food innovations. AI isn't just personalizing nutrition, it's creating new flavors. Food scientists are using AI to develop unique taste combinations, from never-before-seen ice cream flavors to AI-crafted beverages
To never before seen before ice cream flavors. Like, at this point in time, I don't think you can like come up with any new ice cream flavors unless it's a complete cabage of like a bunch of random made up bullshit. Like, that's the only thing I can come up with. How is it that you come up with ice cream flavors never heard of? He said heard of, right?
nations. From never-before-seen ice cream flavors.
Never before seen ice cream flavors. I mean, we have a lot of ice cream flavors, but my opinion, if you're doing it in the lab, you can get real jiggy with it in the lab. You can really get creative in the lab because there ain't nothing stopping you then. So, yeah. And this is AI. I don't understand how AI can create food, but at this point, you can't put nothing past anything.
To AI-crafted beverages tailored to individual preferences. The future of food is here, blending sustainability, technology, and health-conscious choices. With so many exciting changes coming to our plates, which trend do you think will have the biggest impact on the way we eat? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget the impact. Exciting changes coming.
So right here, does this look like right here? Like, this is food. This is food, allegedly. This is food. Got the food, got the gloves, got the hat, got the whole lab coat on. Gonna put the food in the jar. Like, this is how food is handled. Like, this, if you have to handle food like this, bruh. Like, if you have to handle food like this, I don't want it. Something's wrong. Just my personal opinion. Something's wrong. Bruh. Like, something's clearly wrong if you have to handle food like this. It's just like completely something ain't right. Look at that, yo. That ain't food. That's not food. That's not food. Now, again, I have to keep saying this over and over and over. With that being said, at the end of the day, if somebody or if they are preparing your food for you, I mean, what they're doing technically is not wrong because they're growing the food, they're preparing the food, and they're presenting the food, and you're buying the food. So at that point, how are they wrong? I mean, they're not hiding it. We know that there's lab grown food. So what do you do in the future? I mean, we already know, like, places like, McDonald's and places that have food like that. We already know that the cheese don't spoil, the meat don't go bad. There's been experiments. People put a cheeseburger in a microwave or fridge for like 1, 2, 3, 4 months and brought it back out and nothing spoiled. So we know this already. But when you take it to this next level that is headed towards, whew, man, I can only imagine the impact that it's gonna have on people. And I mean, I don't know. I just know the solution. Solution is get rich, make as much money as you can, and grow your own food and have your own cattle. That's it. But shout out to these videos that we just watched, and shout out to the creators of these videos. That was good. That was good stuff. Yeah, so I mean, in the future, like I said, put your head down for the next 5 years, 10 years, grind your tail off, and don't look up until you at least have like $1 to $10 million, and then you're able to, invest to your, invest past, and until you're able to invest through the economy. So while the economy is going down, you want to be investing the entire time, making money investing, making money investing, making money investing while the economy is tanking. And then when everything starts going up, all the fruits from your labor over these past 5 or 10 years, you'll cash out on the back end. That's my humble opinion, because I mean, what you put into your body is extremely important on, you know, the way you sleep, the way you think. I mean, you know, like health is wealth, and a lot of people who get rich, you've seen like a lot of rich, wealthy people end up in hospitals and stuff like that. Now their wealth is basically being spent on their health, and they can't even enjoy the wealth because their health is bad. And then, you know, you can't think straight. Your kids can't think straight. You're in bad moods because you're eating bad food. Like this one, the food is extremely important. So get it together, peeps. We got to get it together. We got to stay focused. We got to get it together for sure. But that's going to be it for the fitness portion of the show today. So that's how we're going to do the fitness portion of the show, because we needed to talk about the diet segment, because I felt like that was very important, knowing that how important diet and fitness go hand in hand. I'm just curious on how fitness would correlate if you're eating lab-grown food and how your body would react. Would your body react the same way, or would it have like a detrimental effect? Because I've always talked about people on steroids plus the food, but then you add this, you know, lab-grown food all in it together. I'm just curious of what the long-term effects on something like that would be. Would it hinder? Would it sterilize you as a human? Would it, you know, put more cancer in you? Would, if you have like silicone or a steroid or stuff, will that food mix with that and cause some kind of chemical reaction? I don't know. You never know. So it's best to put all these things and have these thoughts in your head to try to figure out exactly what's the best way to move and groove, because you need to know. But with that being said, that is it for the fitness portion of the show. And we're going to slide on to the next portion of the show. All right, this is going to be the economy portion of the show. So let me go ahead and slap on over to the economy portion of the show. Let me change this banner real quick before we get started. So we're going to talk about the economy segment of the show. But before we do, we need to get a quick intro. So here we go.
Welcome to the economy segment of the show. Enjoy.
Yes, ma'am. We will enjoy it. We thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. Thank you. All right, so to start things off, a couple of days ago, the Federal Reserve has made official interest rate cuts for the third time this year. It's a 0.25% trim for the following. And we'll go ahead and take a look real quick and see what they did right here. So we're going to take a look and see exactly from the Fed's mouth themselves the situation that took down. So
the
there you go.
Reserve Bank has just cut interest rates by 1/4 of a percentage point to 3.6%. This means 3 interest rate cuts in the space of 6 months. It means the lowest interest rates for more than 2 years. It means $109 a month for every $700,000 owed.
The board's now cut the cash rate by 75 basis points since February this year, as we've become increasingly confident that inflation is on track to be in our 2 to 3% target range on a sustainable basis. Because the price level has gone up so much during the period of high inflation from 2022 to 2024, households are still feeling the pain of those higher costs. And this is why we're so determined to keep inflation down. The forecasts imply that the cash rate might need to be a bit lower than it is today to keep inflation low and stable and employment growing, but there is still a lot of uncertainty, so the board will continue to focus on the data to guide its policy response.
It means 100.
All right, so real quick, I want to check on this part here. What's up, Aladdin? Thank you. Is it Aladdin? Iladin or Iladin? Iladin. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you. I greatly appreciate you. So we got right here. He says that with the cuts, it means $109 is what?
A month for every $709, what more than 2 years. It means $109 a month for every $700,000 owed.
Okay, well, with that being said.
Oh my God! Wow!
So, I mean, I guess $109 is a big savings in a month compared to everything else that is being hit really hard, pause. But The Federal Reserve had just made another cut, third time this year. So we're seeing cuts going on, and hopefully, you know, they continue to do so because, yeah, these things need to well, I don't know if they need to happen, but they can cut the rates all they want, but it'll eventually kind of have an inverse effect on things because people are not having any money or any discretionary income to do anything, let alone having a hard enough time to pay their own bills and using credit cards to get by. But, you know, it's the third one this year. Hopefully, you know, we don't end up to a point where it's stagflation, where, you know, not much money is circulating. So it would be pretty tough to, you know, live in an environment or a world where there is no currency flowing. So we're going to see how all that pans out in due time. But so far, so good. They made another cut third time this year. So hopefully that's a good thing. And it, you know, helps people out by $109. So in the meantime, we go ahead and we keep going, and we're going to look at how the rich people multiply wealth. So we're going to take a look. So while they're making Federal Reserve cuts, we're going to take a look at how rich people are multiplying wealth. So let's go ahead and pull this lady up on the screen. And oh man, I still got the wrong banner on that side. Let me fix that banner real quick. Bam, there we go. And let's take a look at what she says. Rich people are going to multiply wealth. Let's take a look.
You're likely only going to see in your adult lifetime, you're likely only going to see 5 to 7 major economic downturns, and they are going to be your biggest opportunities to build wealth. Rich people actually love these moments because they're going to rapid fire deploy their money into investments when everybody else is freaking out. And then when things inevitably do recover, they're going to be able to ride that wave right back up. So that'll be their opportunity to generate a lot of growth and a lot of wealth. This all said, if you are paycheck to paycheck and you're more worried about buying food than investments, this is going to hit those folks the hardest, and it sucks and it's unfair. But if you do have any extra money to spare, or even if you're willing to just put yourself in an uncomfortable position for a temporary period of time, by picking up a side hustle or a second job, this really could be the difference between whether or not you are where you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. Want to hear even more? Check out Network.
Okay, so she says the exact same thing that I said. Put your head down for the next... She said, put your head down for the next 5 or 10 years and grind your... That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been preaching. So let me give her a round of applause on that one because that makes sense. For sure. So yeah, basically keep your head down for the next 5 or 10 years and just grind your ass off. Do not stop. Just stay focused, stay the course, you know, go through the, you know, the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs that come with it. It's going to hurt, be painful, but keep grinding it out. Now, one thing she did say that kind of made me laugh a little bit was, she didn't say it out loud, but I'm going to tell you what she said if you listen to it.
If you are paycheck to paycheck and you're more worried about buying food than investments, this is going to hit those folks the hardest. And it sucks and it's unfair, but if you do...
Right there. She didn't say it out loud, but she was kind of like...
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
She didn't say it like that, but like she wanted to say that, but she couldn't. You know
have any extra money to spare, or even if you're willing to just put yourself in an uncomfortable position for a temporary period of time, by picking up a side hustle or a second job, this really could be the difference between whether or not you are where you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yes, be uncomfortable. That's exactly, she's right. On that one, I give her that. You're going to have to be uncomfortable for a while for the next, you know, I would say for the next 5 to 10 years, be uncomfortable. But the uncomfortableness that you're going to be feeling is because you're investing on it on the other end. So you're going to have to try to find a way to live way below your means to basically enjoy the fruits of your labor that's going to come in the next 5 or 10 years. And it'll be beyond well worth it. It'll be super well worth it. Just you have to prepare and get ready for it for when it comes. So she's right on that. So I give her a round of applause again. She's on point. So and looking at that, you're seeing how wealthy people are kind of positioning themselves and how they're thinking and how they're going to how they are going to navigate in a economic downturn, which is what we're in. This downturn is good because they have the money to put themselves in position to do bigger and better things, which, you know, like you said, if your paycheck is a paycheck, you won't be able to enjoy it. It sucks. Try to figure out something new and be uncomfortable for a while in order to come out like a bandit on the other end. So this next video that we're going to look at here is we're going to look at, it's an AI video. but it's kind of just showing, I guess you could say, I hate to use this word, but it's going to show like capitalism on steroids in the worst way possible. So we're going to take a look at this video and see exactly what it means. So check this out. Here we go.
$100,000 over asking price. I'm selling to BlackRock.
If you didn't buy Starbucks last year, you could have bought my asbestos-ridden condo for $1.6 million.
Please, I work 3 jobs. Is there any way I make enough to buy a home?
I told you, get the out of my office.
Nobody wants to hustle anymore. Back in my day, I babysat twice and bought a lakefront cabin, 2 jet skis, and a riding lawnmower, all cash.
I'm taking your home and making my 9th Airbnb rental. I'm gonna squeeze this new family for every penny. If you can't pay me $600,000 over asking price, I'm selling to BlackRock.
If you didn't buy Starbucks last year, you could have bought my asbestos-ridden condo for
asbestos-ridden condo for $1.6 million. Boy, if that ain't the definition of this right here,
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers. You know?
I don't know what is. Jesus, she is just brutal with that one, man. Good Lord. So yeah, that's basically what's going on in a nutshell in some cases. As you can see, people who have real estate can basically bleed people out if they want to. You just got to find a way to navigate in this situation. It's something that people have needed to be prepared for years along the way, and understand how to have a good sense of budgeting and a good sense of understanding how economic cycles work. But on the other end, rich people are navigating through these planes a little bit differently. As we're going to see here, we have a wife that we're going to look at. She's showing that her husband has her in first class. Let's take a look at what this says. Oh, wait, we can't play that because that's music. But anyway, it says first and business class are sold out. So my husband booked me 4 seats in economy instead. Problem solved. Like, everybody's having a hard time with finances and money, but as you can see right here, her husband went ahead and bought her 4 seats at whole empty row in economy. And I'm not knocking them. It is what it is. But look at that. First and business class are sold out. So people who complain about jobs and work and having a hard time and rent and bills and groceries and utilities, she's talking about first and business class is sold out. She's like, first and business class sold out. She has a whole economy to herself because she can't get in to the first and business class. So clearly there's money being made like crazy. There's money being made. The first and business class is sold out, and there's enough money for one person to have a whole row bought to themselves. So looking at how the rich people are living versus how everybody else is struggling is something that people need to pay attention to and open your eyes and find a grind and a hustle and do this nonstop 24/7, 365, whether you're tired or whatever it is, and just understand that it's now or never, or go all into whatever it is that you have to do, because clearly it's money out there to be made and people have it. But in this economic downturn, it's like nobody's coming to save you and nobody cares about you. And at the end of the day, it's like a dog eat dog world out there. And at the end of the day, it seems like people are saying this.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
So either get with it or get rolled over at the end of the day. But shout out to her though. She do look nice. I have to give her credit on that one. That was a nice, pretty little thing. As a matter of fact, let's take one more look at this one. Yeah, she nice little pretty thing. Shout out to her husband. That's a nice little pretty one. Dressed all modestly, everything covered up. Look, she got 2 phones. She got one in her hand and she got one in her lap. She out there doing the thing. Okay, all right, that's what's up. And who's to know? This could be AI for all we know. This really could be AI. We just wouldn't even know it. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this next video that we have. So we have the U.S. economy soaring under President Trump. June brought 27 billion June brought a 27 billion budget surplus driven by, what does that say? 120 billion in tariff revenues, including 7 billion last week alone. So we're going to let, I don't know how to say this, JF radio show. We're going to let him speak on it. It's like a 3 or 4 minute video, but I'm not gonna let him talk the whole time, but we're gonna let him hear what he says about the economy, which is booming. Now remember, we're talking about from a rich people standpoint and seeing how they see the economy versus how I've always looked at massive layoffs, HOAs, jobs lost, people getting fired and all that stuff. We're not looking at it like that now. We're looking on the rich people's side to see how they see this economy and how they're moving.
Economy blowing up right now. Unbelievable. This is without the rate cut, that the United States economy is regaining its swagger under President Trump. And you not look any further than the banner economic news of the past 7 days. Core inflation beat market expectations yet once again, 5th straight month. Every full month since President Trump took office, guess what? Inflation is down from what they said it was. It's averaging 2.1%, levels not seen since Trump's first administration. Now, this is when prices were low and stable. Wholesale prices, well, they came in completely flat, which is even better news, below market expectations. Always look at wholesale prices because that is the foundation of what inflation is. Now, industrial production, once again, blew out market expectations with a higher than expected climb, showing that inflation is falling as domestic production surges. Manufacturing output has grown by, get this, 1.8% in the first 5 months of President Trump's second term, compared with a nearly 1% decline in the final 5 months of Biden. That is a 2.8, almost a 2.6 swing from Biden to Trump in manufacturing. Customs and tariff revenues, this is going to knock your socks off. They've totaled $120 billion since President Trump took office. And this is only the beginning. He doesn't even have all the tariffs in yet. He doesn't even have the European Union. He doesn't have Japan in yet. He doesn't have China, India. None of this is done. And guess what? 120 billion, topping 100 billion in a fiscal year for the first time ever, including 7 billion last week alone. This is in tariff revenue coming in, fueling the first June budget surplus in a decade. Now, advanced retail sales, well, they blew expectations out of the ocean in June, showing that consumers are confident and spending thanks to low inflation, strong wage gains, no tax on overtime, no tax on tips. People got money in their pocket. They're spending it on American manufactured goods, which is the whole object of it. Now, consumer sentiment shot up in July again. Initial claims for unemployment, there's people that are making unemployment claims, fell for the 5th straight week, confirming again strong jobs under President Trump. Housing starts and permits for new builds, both increased in June.
Okay. I'm gonna have to stop him right there for a minute. So he's saying that jobs increased or unemployment went down. I don't know about that one. I can't really call him on that one. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not sure with that one because getting a job right now is hard as hell. But if you pay attention to what he was really saying at the end of the day, he was speaking on businesses. He's talking about the profits businesses are making. He's not talking about the middle class, or he's not talking about the working class, I'll say. That's not who he's talking about. He's talking about businesses. He says manufacturers, and he said what was he speaking about when he said the inflation? He was speaking on, what did he say? Whenever you're talking about inflation, you have to, I got to look it up again. Where is it?
Output has grown by, get this, 1.8% in the first 5 months of President Trump's second term, compared with a nearly 1% decline in the final 5 months of Biden. That is once again, blew up the foundation. It's averaging 2.1%. Guess what? Inflation is down from what they said it was. It's averaging 2.1%, levels not seen since Trump's first administration. Now, this is when prices were low and stable. Wholesale prices. Good Lord, I couldn't figure it out.
Wholesale prices. He mentioned wholesale prices. Who gets wholesale prices? Usually businesses, and then the business sells it to you. So everything that he's referring to is going to be anything that's business related. So when he's talking about this, he's talking about businesses. Businesses are thriving. Businesses are doing great. If you have a business, if you have employees or whatever, you're going to be doing good. You're going to be thriving. Your businesses are seeing a really huge uptick in increase in profits right now. So just again, looking at how the wealthy is seeing this economy versus how we've looked at in the past versus the working class. The working class are having a hard time. Jobs, the HOAs are in some places are giving people hard times. Relationships also as well take a hit, because when the money start getting funny, relationships take a huge dive. So all these different things the working class are dealing with. But on the other side, the rich and the wealthy, they're seeing this as a massive uptick and a massive good opportunity that they're going through in order to basically on the back end make out extreme profits and gains in the next 5 to 10 years, like that previous lady was saying. Like, where is she? Where's that one lady at? Where is she? Did I ask her? This lady right here.
And you're more.
This is what this lady was saying. She was speaking on this. She was saying, hey, for the next 5 or 10 years, if you can, go through this bottom, go through this hard time that we're going to go through and keep investing your money on the other end of this, you are going to see extreme amount of gains. It is going to be so freaking amazing. So, I mean, she ain't lying. And this guy over here, he's speaking on the same thing. He's saying that businesses are seeing incredible profits and all this stuff that's going on from what Trump is doing for businesses. So they're seeing great things happen for their pockets. Working class, not so much. But for businesses, they're seeing a huge uptick in life. And we're going to have this lady right here. This will be the last one for the economy portion of the show. Is it? Yeah. This will be the last one for the economy portion of the show. She's going to speak on real wealth in the economy. Isn't what you see. It's the secret economy that you don't. And I'm going to let this one right here. She's going to do a quick little rant, like a 45-second rant. She's going to explain it on how the real wealth is not in the economy that you see. So here we go.
So I'm a multimillionaire, and here's the secret economy of the ultra rich. First of all, you don't even know what I'm talking about because you're not even invited, but here it is. The rich like me don't live in the same financial reality as you. We have access to a whole hidden economy, one where we pay little taxes, multiply our wealth at insane speeds, and have protections you don't. This is how our world works. We have legal tax loopholes. You get access to private investments. We don't use our own money. How do you start accessing this? You set up a business. It unlocks tax benefits for you, new income streams as well. Build high income skills. Rich pay for results, not resumes. Then you network with people at a higher level than you. Information is power, but you need to be in the right circles to get it. Wealthy aren't playing the same game as you. Thousands of steps ahead. You need to be in the right circles, get a mentor that's going to be able to give you this information. Step into our world or get trapped. So I'm a multimillionaire.
Ooh, did you see what she said at the end? She said, come to our world or get trapped. Bruh, that was a word. Bruh. That was brutal at the very end. She said, come to our world or get trapped. So, like I say, you got to put your head down and figure out a way to make something happen. You can't let nobody stop you from making the moves that you're going to move, because you can see it. You see the writing on the wall. You know what's happening. You know what's coming. You can feel it. You've been able to feel it. I mean, I've been seeing this for a very, very, very long time. It's just that certain situations have happened that cause you a little bit of a setback, but you live, you learn, and you keep pushing forward. And yeah, she said it herself, and she said that the rich, they live in a whole different economy than what people see on, the news or on TV. They don't live in the same reality when it comes to an economy that most people see. They have a whole different. Why is this on a double screen? She's saying that she doesn't have the same economy. They have a different economy. They don't even use their own money for different investments and things like that. They operate differently. And at the very end, what she said was just extremely powerful. Like, listen to this again. This last part.
Step into our world or get trapped. So I'm multi-millionaire to give you this information. Step into our world or get trapped.
Step into our world and get trapped. Like, sheesh. That is brutal right there. Now, I don't know if she's saying step into our world and get trapped by, the resources that they had the advantage to, or if she's saying step into our world or get trapped in, the forever cycle of perpetual poverty. I don't know. I didn't make it out exactly, but it seemed like that's what she said to me. I could be wrong, but she's putting it out there that the reason why the rich and wealthy see things differently and see this economic downturn as a benefit is because the whole economy that they're in is not the same as what we see, as what everybody else sees as a regular economy. She's saying that the rich and wealthy see a whole different economy than what everybody else is seeing. They're able to take advantage of so many different investment vehicles and things like that, and using their money, and they're not using their money, using somebody else's money. So it changes the game completely. So keep that in mind. Like I said, got to find a way to get rich, get wealthy, put your head down, grind for the next 5 or 10 years, show up every single day, regardless of the situation or circumstance you're going through. Tired, headache, not feeling good, it doesn't matter. Like I said, last night I did a stream and I was damn near falling asleep on the stream, which I probably won't do no more evening streams anymore. But in the evening, I was like literally like watching the video, then was doing one of these, like just like nodding off. Then I was getting back up and trying to, it was rough, but I still made it happen. So you have to keep pushing, have to keep grinding through whatever it is. But that's going to be it for the economy section of the show. So shout out to them for those videos. Now we're going to slide on over to the last segment of the show, which is the AI portion of the show that we have going on for you today. What is this right here? Okay, cool. So with the AI segment of the show, we're going to look into a few things. We're going to start off with something I've looked at in the past, which is going to be AI prisons. All right, so AI prisons. The future of AI prisons is what they're allegedly saying, which a lot of the times when they say it, we think it's like, oh, whatever, it's not true, it's not going to happen. But then like as time progresses, and hindsight is 2020, we kind of find out that that stuff did happen. The future of prisons, of AI prisons. And let me go ahead and change the banner real quick. And yeah, get that fixed. But before we do, let me not do that. Let me go ahead and give the AI intro before I go into the AI portion of the show. So here we go.
Welcome to the AI segment of the show. Enjoy.
Yes, we will be enjoying. Thank you very much, sweetheart. I greatly appreciate that. Yes. Okay, so with the AI segment of the show, what I was speaking about was prisons. So they're doing something with prisons when it comes to AI. They basically are changing the prison sentences. So if you have like a 10-year bid, they can change that 10-year bid to now like you'll be released way earlier, allegedly doing something where they're going to erase your memory to where you come out on the other side not having to honestly understand the effects of what you did. Well, I guess I'm explaining it wrong. You can feel the pain of the victim. You can feel the pain of the victim's family of whatever crime you committed, but it's going to kind of like wipe your memory clean in a way, and it's called Cognify. But we're going to watch a video that's going to dive deeper in and let them explain to you how they're going to lessen prison sentences. But in my opinion, at what cost is that gonna actually come at? So let's go ahead and take a look at this video and see exactly how this situation works. Let me pull this up on a screen, change the banner, and let's see how the future of prison may look according to AI. So here we go.
Welcome to Cognify, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients. Instead of spending years in an actual prison cell, prisoners could finish their sentence here in just a few minutes. Cognify could someday create and implant artificial memories directly into the prisoner's brain. These complex, vivid, and lifelike memories are created in real time using AI-generated content. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. The artificial memories implanted by Cognify would be seamlessly incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. The Cognify concept offers a new approach to criminal rehabilitation, transforming how society deals with offenders by focusing on rehabilitation rather than punishment. First, the prisoner is given a choice, either spending tens of years in a prison cell or seeking fast-track rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation. If the prisoner chooses to undergo fast-track rehabilitation, the Cognify device is used. Next, the prisoner undergoes high-resolution brain scanning to create a detailed map of their neural pathways. This brain map helps guide the Cognify device to target specific brain regions responsible for memory, reasoning, and logical thinking, such as the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, amygdala, parietal lobe, and anterior cingulate cortex. Once the target brain regions are identified, Cognify is then placed around the head of the prisoner. The intensity and the type of artificial memories is then adjusted depending on the crime. Inside the criminal's mind, time would pass differently, slower than in real life, making them experience years' worth of artificial memories in just a few minutes.
Okay, I don't mean to stop it right there, but I do have to basically pinpoint out a striking, eerie similarity. Doesn't this seem like what they were doing in the movie The Matrix, when they would put the little thing in the back of their head and they would be inside of the Matrix, the simulation, and then they would get out of the simulation by taking the thing back off? Doesn't this seem like the same thing? Because they just mentioned that once they do the memory thing to you, that it's gonna seem like it's been a lot of time, but in reality it's not. Doesn't this seem like a type of Matrix type thing that they're doing by putting you under this? Just look at it and ask yourself that question.
Inside the criminal's mind, time would pass differently, slower than in real life, making them experience years' worth of artificial memories in just a few minutes.
You see, that seems just like how the Matrix concept worked out in the movie, but let's keep going.
Synthetic memories are customized depending on the crime committed and the unique brain structure and psychological profile of the individual. Violent offenders could experience memories that are designed to trigger empathy and remorse, seeing their crime from the perspective of their victim, feeling their pain and suffering firsthand. Some memories are designed to trigger consequences and trauma. Such memories could simulate the long-term consequences of violent actions, such as the grief of the victim's family or the physical and emotional trauma endured by the victim. Artificial memories could cover a wide...
So basically they're saying you commit a crime on someone, whether it's violent or whatever, you literally will relive the crime that you did to somebody else and feel the pain that you caused someone. That's pretty freaking brutal. And I hate to admit it, but that's kind of genius at the same time, depending on the crime.
A range of crimes, including domestic violence, hate crimes and discrimination, embezzlement, insider trading, theft and fraud. Cognify Emotion Regulation System could modulate neurotransmitters and hormones to induce specific emotional states, such as remorse or regret, which is crucial for rehabilitation. Real-time monitoring and feedback mechanisms could track the prisoner's neural responses throughout the process, allowing the system to adapt and optimize the rehabilitation in real time with new visuals, sensation, and realistic AI-generated content. To ensure the long-term effect of the therapy session, the memories could become permanent, fully integrated into the subject's mind, as if they were part of their own personal experiences. While subjects are undergoing therapy session, valuable data are collected from all the prisoners into a central computer for scientific research, which will help understand the criminal mind and determine the best approach to tackle crimes in society. AI-driven analytics could enhance the device's functionality, optimizing future procedures based on gathered data and insights. Cognify could feature encrypted storage for sensitive prisoner information and rehabilitation data. A compact and portable...
Okay, so the question is, when they do this to you, because remember the first thing they gave you was a choice. So that's the first thing that you have to pay attention to. They gave you a choice. You can either do your 10-year bid or you could do this procedure, this Cognify procedure, which, you know, power in words. So I'm actually curious in what this word means. But the first thing they do is they do give you a choice, right? And when they give you a choice, with all of this that they're doing, is there a implant of some sort or a small chip or something of some nature being ingrained or implanted in your head? Because you do have to give consent. And the consent is like either you do your 10-year bid or time, or you know, go through this Cognify. But is there something being implanted in your mind? Because then once something is implanted in your mind, then does that give them the power or the authority to be able to, you know, read your mind with whatever chip that they have implanted in you and control your thoughts, or be able to hear your thoughts, or, you know, be able to read your memories and emotions? That's kind of one thing I'm curious about with this whole thing that's going on. But let's continue.
Design would allow Cognify to be used anywhere in the world. It would be constructed with durable materials to withstand frequent use. Its energy-efficient design would ensure long operational life, reducing the need for frequent recharges. It would have the ability to integrate seamlessly with other prison systems, like security cameras and biometric identification. Once the therapy session is concluded, family members of the subject could be provided with a comprehensive report on the new artificial memories that have been implanted. Could be used. Cognify could feature encrypted storage for sensitive prisoner information and rehabilitation data. A compact and portable design would allow Cognify to be used anywhere in the world. It would be constructed with durable materials to withstand frequent use.
A compact and portable design. How small is compact?
Its energy-efficient design would ensure long operational life, reducing the need for frequent recharges. It would have the ability to integrate seamlessly with other prison systems, like security cameras and biometric identification. Once the therapy session is concluded, family members of the subject could be provided with a comprehensive report on the new artificial memories that have been implanted, offering them a chance to adjust to the subject's new, positive personality traits. The subject is then released back into society to start a new life away from crimes. The Cognify concept could revolutionize the criminal justice system by significantly reducing the need for long-term incarceration and its associated costs.
So you're wiping their whole memory clean, and so you're wiping the way their memory and their consciousness clean, and they're coming out a whole different person. They don't know anything about them. So I guess the one way to look at this would be, what movie was your memory wiped? Like Men in Black. I guess, remember if you got hit with the thing on Men in Black, they would hit you with the pew thing and you wouldn't remember anything at all. And I think, I haven't seen the movie in a long time, if it serves me correctly. Didn't they also have a time limit on how much of your memory they erased? Because they could, I think there was like a time limit they could put on it, like however long, or completely wipe it all clean. I'm not sure, but yeah, but that seems like quite a bit. But remember, you have a choice. You could do your full bid, or you can come out and do the Cognify. But let's continue.
Traditional prisons require substantial budgets for construction, maintenance, staffing, and prisoner care, including food, healthcare, and rehabilitation programs. By replacing extended prison sentences with brief, intensive rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation, the costs of maintaining prison facilities and supporting inmates could be drastically lowered.
But right there, they said it. Through artificial memory implantations. How do they implant something in your head? It needs to be, in my opinion, I believe it needs to be something that's physically in there. And if they implant your memory with something new, then they're going to control the way you think, and you're going to render society the way they want you to render it without you really having free will. So it's a whole new way, in my opinion, to disguise controlling your free will. You no longer have a free will anymore, and it can be through an era of any crime that they see fit. So if they give you so if you get charged with a crime or convicted with a crime and you have time on your hands, you either have to do that draconian long period of time or undergo this, but you won't be the same person as you went in.
Costs of maintaining prison facilities and supporting inmates could be drastically lowered. The funds saved from reduced incarceration and recidivism rates could be reallocated to other critical areas. These might include education, healthcare, infrastructure development, social welfare programs, or research and development initiatives that benefit society as a whole. By rehabilitating offenders more quickly, Cognify could enable them to reintegrate into society sooner and contribute to the workforce. This increased productivity could boost the economy and generate tax revenue, further offsetting the initial investment in such technology. Successful rehabilitation through Cognify could lead to safer communities, reduced crime rates, and improved social well-being.
So, okay, if you go through this Cognify and then you go back out into society, again, I'm under the impression that there's an implantation of some sort in this very vital part of your brain that they're doing. I believe that it's a implant. There's something they're implanting in your brain, because nowadays they can put something very small and minute into something and it has a huge effect. excuse me, my opinion is whatever it is that they're implanting in your head, can they shut it off? Or can they, hit a button and it explodes inside of your head? Like a little tiny, all they got to do is hit like your hypothalamus or something inside of your brain, your medulla, inside of your brain, and it's a wrap. It's over. It's, you know what I mean? They hit your pineal gland with a small little bitty thing and just make it explode. It's over. You won't even see it coming. It won't even look like dramatic. You would just drop out. You know what I mean? So I wonder that whatever they put inside of you and you go back out into society at that point with your consent because you agreed to it instead of doing your time for whatever crime allegedly, is that what they're doing? Are they able to now turn you off at that point? You know what I mean? Like the true definition of turn his TV off, like Kendrick be saying.
This could have far-reaching positive impacts on individuals, families, and society as a whole, contributing to a more stable and prosperous future. Apart from treating criminals, Cognify could also be used to treat severe memory loss by helping patients recall their past memories. It could also treat patients with PTSD by implanting positive memories that replace the negative ones.
Oh no, that's not good. So if you got PTSD from anything diagnosed as trauma, whether it's military given, whether it's, family given, or whatever situation that you've been through, now they can put you in this Cognify thing and help you. But again, I'm just curious, is there something they implant? Because as they said, it's a memory implantation. So if it's a memory implantation, then what did you implant in there? Artificial memory implantation. Is it an actual device? And it's only like 5 seconds of this video left, so that will be the end of that video. But I'm curious, so I'm going to look that up. But shout out to whoever made that video. That was actually a good video. I like that. So I'm going to look this up real quick. Artificial memory implant. So here we go. Artificial memory implants are known as memory photosynthesis or memory implants are devices. There it is. Okay. We're on to something here. Hold on. Let me put this up on the screen. We're going to read this. We are going to read this. This is importante. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and get our reading on. Come on. Let me get this up here for you. So check this out. All right, so we just watched the video. So now we're going to look. Artificial memory implantation is what it was called. So now I look up artificial memory implants, also known as memory prosthetics or memory implants, are devices designed to enhance or restore memory function by directly interacting with the brain's neural pathways. These implants, so it is a device, can potentially help individuals with memory loss due to brain injuries, aging, or degenerative diseases. Oh, degenerative diseases. Wow. So all the degenerate activity, hedonism, high sexual activity, research in this area is actively exploring both the restoration of lost memories and the creation of new artificial ones. You're giving people fake memories, bruh. That is brutal. Wait a minute, where's my sound at? Giving people artificial memories, but it's a device. It's a device they implant inside of you. So if you undergo Cognify, this is what they're able to do. Yo, let me go ahead and drop it on you. Yo, that is brutal. Mimicking the hippocampus, memory implants often aim to mimic the function of the hippocampus, a brain region crucial for memory formation and storage. Wow, that is brutal. Creating artificial memories. While still largely in the research phase, they're going to perfect this. The creation of artificial memories raises ethical considerations, but also a potential benefit for treating conditions like PTSD or chronic pain. Oh, so that makes a lot of sense for two things. It makes a lot of sense for poor health care. In poor health, it'll help you get some kind of chronic pain. So being in chronic pain, or for the reason why therapists are big right now, because they're not going to cure your PTSD. It's just somebody to talk to, but you can but they sure can't hit you with a diagnosis though and send you right over to Cognify to get you an AMI in your head. Oh my goodness. One more time. So that's just so basically that's a way to understand the AI prison. So Cognify is how that would work. And you can get, put in there for a myriad of crimes or health issues. So it can happen between crimes that you commit or health issues. Anything that has to do with crime and health, that could be up for grabs for you to be under Cognify, which then you're given a choice. You either A, do your time, or B, undergo Cognify. And if you have PTSD, you can undergo Cognify. If you have chronic pain, you can undergo Cognify. But remember, Cognify is this. It is what they're doing, which is this. Artificial memory implants. That's what they're putting in order to help with A, reducing your prison sentence, or B, helping you get over whatever PTSD or any other health traumatic issues that you have. Bruh, that is brutal. Oh my, one more time. Hey, be safe out here, folks. Be safe out here. Y'all need to be safe out here for sure. Let's move on to the next thing. Speaking of prisons, let's go ahead and look at prisons from a time lapse starting in the year 800 BC. Let's see how this looks. I'm gonna mute the music, but we're gonna look and watch how this time goes up. So we're seeing how prison cells have changed. The evolution of prison from 800 BC to I think the year 2100 they're gonna go up to. I mean, I guess they came a long way, but clearly prison cells have been a thing forever. And they finally, in the year 1750, they went ahead and gave you a mattress, allegedly. We don't know how long they've been doing mattresses in prisons, but as we see, we'll get into the 1900s. What was it, the 20th century is what we call that? All right, so now they got sinks and bathrooms in there now, And from some of the photos I've seen, they haven't looked this well, unless you're in like Switzerland or someplace like that where they have like really beautiful prisons, which is crazy. But hey, I live in America, so I see it differently. All right, so now we're getting into the year 2050. Oh, they gave you a view. What? Okay, now these look like labs. See, now your prison looks like a lab. Now you look like you're in a laboratory room. See, look at that. That looks like a lab. Ain't a prison no more. You're a lab rat. Straight up. Went from a prison cell to a straight lab rat room. Look at that. Look at that. You went from this to a prison cell to a straight lab. You are in a freaking lab. You're like in a freezer at this point. Boy, they are running straight experiments on you, but these experiments come in the form of this right here. Bam! Stick you in the Cognify. And now you have a device planted in your head. Yeah, so be careful out there, people. Get rich, get your own money, get your own land, grow your own food, get your own cattle, and stay low key and do your own thing. Speaking of implants and surgeries, we have looked at this. Robotic surgery is something that's been going on lately, and they've been improving on that. And they said that I can't talk. Robotic surgery now can happen from a patient 5,000 miles away. Okay, so 5,000 miles away, you can get surgery, or a doctor can do surgery on a patient 5,000 miles away. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video that we have right here. It shows that it says a surgeon in Rome performed remote robotic surgery on a patient in Beijing. Let's go ahead and watch this video real quick. Let's check it out.
First, Chinese medical teams have operated remotely on a cancer patient from a different continent. The pioneering procedure involved a robot in Beijing being controlled by a specialist in Rome.
This patient in Beijing is being operated on by a robot controlled from the Italian capital Rome, over 8,000 kilometers away. The Chinese team, including a backup surgeon, watched the operation closely at the 3rd Medical Center of the People's Liberation Army General Hospital. Professor Zhang Xu guided the robotic arms remotely via surgical console to complete the delicate work of removing a lesion from the patient's prostate. The two-way communication may be happening between cities on opposite sides of the world, but the robot performed the surgery as if the doctor was in the room. The delay or latency was only 135 milliseconds, below the 200 millisecond standard suggested by various medical studies for telesurgery.
The biggest problem with remote surgery is communication and whether there is any delay. Today, there was almost no delay, the same as an on-site surgery.
To me, it was really an historical experience, an historical moment. The fact that he was able to do it in Rome, it makes us very, very happy.
After the success of the operation, the team says it will experiment with using the technology to direct surgical treatments for the military in frontline and remote environments.
In a world first, Chinese medical...
All right, so they're talking about using this in the military for remote and frontline environments. So that's going to be interesting to see how this thing will all pan out. Now that they're able to do remote surgeries, remember, AI moves fast. It doesn't take long for AI to move. So what they did was they did the remote thing using the robot. You got the human over here, the robot over here, and controlling, right? Get it? True. Now, at some point, you're probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking. You're probably thinking like, okay, well, we get that the human is controlling the robot, but what point do we get to when the robot starts to do it by itself without humans actually touching or controlling the robot? At what point does a human become obsolete and a robot is operating full-fledged? Well, let's go ahead and tap into that right now. Let's take a look. So we got this lady here. There's a lovely young lady. Maybe she's young. Let's see what she says right here. She says, do you know what a robot did? Let's see what it did. Let's hear what she has to say.
Do you know what a robot just did? Enlighten me. It just performed a gallbladder removal surgery. All by itself. What do you mean? I mean, no one was touching it, no one was controlling it. Robot did the entire surgery perfectly. Wait, really? Yep, on a human? Not a pig. A live pig? A dead pig. Oh, but it was still a perfect surgery. The robot knew how to identify the artery, pull the tissue, put in the little clips, make the cuts, all by itself. Okay, let me get this straight. AI now has access to every book, every textbook, every research paper, every testimonial, every study, etc., ever written in every language. And now it also performs perfect surgeries? Wow. Yeah. So, universal basic income. Yeah. Do you know?
Yeah. That's what she said. At the very end, she basically said it has every research paper, and at the end of the day, it can perform surgeries. And she ended it with universal basic income. Yeah, that's basically, in a nutshell, she basically summed it up pretty well. And as you can see right here, now she mentioned that,
surgery.
Let me see, where is it?
AI
Let me
now
find it
has
real
access.
quick.
The robot knew how to identify.
All right, so right here, an AI-powered robot has performed a realistic surgery without human intervention for the first time. And as you can see, it put clamps on the area. This is a unalive pig. Put clamps on the area, then made the cut.
Identify the artery, pull the tissue, put in the little clips, make the cuts, all by itself. Okay, let me get this.
All by itself. So it made this entire thing with a unalive pig. It did it all on its own. So if it's able to do that then how long do you think it's going to be able to do before we render this guy right here? Where'd he go? Where you at? Where you at, buddy? Where are you? Let me find you real quick.
problem with remote surgery is communication.
Yeah. We hear you talking, but I want to find an image of you. Where you at? There you are. How much time do you think it'll be till we render this guy useless? Because, you know, they were sitting there praising like, oh, he's 5,000 miles away from a patient and he's performing a surgery in Rome on a patient in Beijing. Yeah, that's true. But then she comes through and tells us that a whole pig just got surgery. A whole unalive pig just got surgery put on it by a robot with no human help. Now, can't take everybody's word for truth because this is the internet, right? We can't just say, oh, somebody said it on the internet, so it's true. So I had to do some research. I had to. And I did do some research. I had to find out if this is just somebody talking for views on social media or not. But, Lord and behold, I ran over to the New York Post, and the New York Post came with this right here. So let's go ahead and check it out real quick. Bam, New York Post. Let's see what it says. AI-trained robot completes groundbreaking gallbladder operation with 100% success. The future is bright. That's what they say right here. So the future is allegedly bright for surgery success. So we go down a little bit real quick right here, and let me kind of zoom in because I know it's going to be hard for you to see. Come on, zoom in. Can you see it? I think I went too much in. Sorry for all the other stuff you're going to be seeing, but whatever. An AI-powered robot has completed a groundbreaking surgical procedure, potentially changing the future of medicine forever. The bot successfully separated the gallbladder from the liver of an unalive pig, with experts now exclaiming that automated surgery could be trailed on humans within a decade. Within a decade. They jumped within a decade, bruh. Within a freaking decade. Bruh. The future is bright. And I would try to read that word, but I'm going to butcher it. But that's what they say. The future is bright. So, yeah. So I had to, and let me just show you again. There it is right there. You can go look this up yourself. The New York Post came with this. There it is. If you can see at the top. If you can't see it, I'll try to zoom in so you can see it again. There it is, New York Post. So they even came with this finding. So I had to kind of do some researching just to make sure that I wasn't just spreading social media, you know, gossip over the internet without giving you any sources with my research. I had to come with it. You know what I mean? Just same way I had to come with the what is it called? The artificial memory implant. I had to go in and Google that one and look that up. And as we see that's actually a thing that's going to be happening. So yeah, people, that's going to be a thing. You know what? Let me see. New York Times. What y'all got? Do you have anything about that? A brain implant improved memory. Okay, that was a long time ago. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into that because I ain't got much time. But just to keep you on your toes and to keep you understanding what's going on in the world of AI. So we have Cognify, which is the artificial memory implantation that they're going to be putting in people's heads. Granted, you cause a crime or have any health issues, you have a choice. They give you a choice. You either do the time or you do Cognify, whichever one you may choose. But it is a device that will be implanted in you that can alter your memory and your thinking and can give you artificial memory, which we saw. And if you didn't see it, rewind, go back and look. I showed you the whole thing. Then we fast forward. We saw that a man performed surgery on somebody from Rome to Beijing, 5,000 miles away, successfully did a great job. But now we see that a pig has had surgery on it, an unalive pig at that, has had surgery on it without human help. A robot did it all by itself, put the clamps on, made the snip, and it was 100% successful. Can you say universal basic income? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today's show. Thank y'all for tuning in. I got to get up out of here. Thank y'all so much. Hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show. Whoops, I didn't mean to change that right there. Hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show. Hopefully you learned something new. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Again, we're multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and Rumble. So go ahead and hit the like button if you're on YouTube and give me a follow on all other platforms. Greatly appreciate it. We'll be back here maybe tomorrow for another video, depending on what I got to do tomorrow. But if not, I'll try to come back here, or we'll be back here on Monday unless I can make one happen on the weekend. But with that being said, I love y'all. Take care of yourself. Peace out. And we'll end it with the sexy Latina.
Follow D. Elliott Fitness for the kind of workouts you'll never forget. Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, ain't the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, slave beats. I'd rather be in the studio than in jail or on the street. Talking the wrong, cooling off your teeth. Got that one hit to quit and knock you off your feet. It's big on, baby, I'm obsolete. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta speak. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they proud of me. I'm eating good, smoking broccoli, taking over blocks like Monopoly. Only fuck the ones that's my policy. Most of these hoes trying to cause a scene. Like niggas mad they not on the team. See, I got bread, then buy the dream. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, playing beats. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, playing beats. Counting cash and smoking green, can me blow cloud like a smoke machine. The bitch on my dick, she got notes to sing. Bumblebee ass, yeah, I know it's thing. I plug your bitch like a 6-string. Jordan with the bitches got 6 rings. Smoke till my bitch split screen. The first pain pills and sipping lean. Riding dirty, but I'm extra clean. Lyrics nice, but I'm extra mean. All-star heavyweight like Wolverine. The bitch nice like she over me. I flip money like Clover G. Gang hustle like TIP. It's all baby like D.I.G. Acronym like KRT. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, playing beats. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, playing beats. Killer beats like RP, no hard shit with your artery. Cutting up, who sharp as me? Rolling up accordingly. Pulling hoes, no sorcery. Rapping like y'all forcing me. If I ain't right, then it's forgery. Nigga selling to the rock like a Forrest beat. Lyrical monster on the Lord of Beats. Text nigga, my bitch Georgia Peach. Pimp tight nigga, I do more than cheat. Cold like D-Wade, I ignore the heat. Bitch, on my way, hit the short police. Money jumping like the nigga on my sneeze. Cut the bad J's, give me on the beat. Bitch, I'm always winning like what's the fee? The game on